All right, y'all. It's time for installment number 4 of my poly experience. All right. So I want to apologize because, hey, I missed posting last week. It was a holiday. Also, disclaimer, I'm a little congested. So sometimes I might sound stuffy. Just ignore it. We listen here and we don't judge. Now, I have been approached by some family and a few friends, and you guys were judging me, but I don't care. Moving on. We left off with me finding out that the queen of this poly union not only wants me to be a wife to her husband, but to her as well. So I'm supposed to be just passed around the union, okay? Did I tell you that I have a special in studio guest who will be speaking from behind the scenes just to help me get through this one? I think we should start with me giving you a brief description of the difference between polyamory and polygamy. So, polygamy is when a man has multiple wives that he's committed to, and he can have as many wives as he decides or as the union agrees to. Okay, and all of the wives are solely committed to this one man. All of the wives have one husband. It's not many men who are able to handle that in a healthy way. Just let me say that. But surprisingly, there are women out here who are in the same position. Yes, there are women out here who have multiple husbands, and these husbands are committed to that one wife. Now, who are those dudes? I don't know, but I've seen it on social media somewhere. It's happening in the Amazons. That's totally different over there. So, anyway, high five to her. And then what is polyamory? Polyamory starts with a committed couple, whether they're married or just committed to being life partners, and they decide that they have enough love to share with multiple people. So that means they can have an additional wife, an additional husband, a boyfriend, girlfriend, just add-ons, okay? But here is the important part of a polyamory relationship. The foundation is built upon communication, open communication, transparency, vulnerability. You have to be secure with yourself. You have to be emotionally mature and confident, okay? That is the foundation of a polyamory relationship. In my opinion, that trumps monogamy all day, because the monogamous relationships that I see out here, you guys are fooling yourselves. You're lying to yourself first. You're lying to your partners. You don't know how to have open communication. You don't know how to communicate. You walk around every day with these thoughts in your mind. They don't know you, and you don't know them. It's a facade to me. I don't know what y'all doing. Cohabitating? Just sex partners? And you're not even doing that right. Anyway, in my opinion, polygamy is a more beneficial union than monogamy these days. That's just my opinion. Just because of the foundation that polyamory is built on. So let's move forward. Where we left off last week is when I found out that the queen of this polyamory, which I thought at the time was polygamy, a polygamous couple, she wants me to be her wife too. So in this particular situation, I'm not sure if it's so much polyamory versus being a throuple. Yeah, throuple. 3. And someone gets tossed between the two, and I guess that was me. Someone keeps covering his face while I'm talking, and it's really distracting. Anyway.
How does the thought of a throuple take you?
I don't know what to say about that because I've never been in a situation. Well, let me say this. Yeah, I've never been in a situation quite like that. Now, have I had invitations to be in a throuple? Yeah. And I've always denied it because it wasn't, it didn't interest me at all. So this way they had to come through the back door, basically. I don't want to say trickery, but I can't say trickery because the queen of this union is listening. And she reached out to me after the last video and she made her comments. So I know she's listening to this video and I don't want to offend her, but I am telling my truth as I see it. And you have the freedom to tell yours. Do you want to disclose your identity? Let's move on. So, I don't think I told you at the time that I was reacquainted with the husband in this union. We're referring to him as Mystery. His wife was with child. Now, at the time, they had a basketball team at home. They did, and she was pregnant with their sixth child. So I'm sure that had a lot of influence on him wanting to take on a second wife to help out and to form and build the community that they desire to not only support them but to help nurture the children, right? And so it just so happened that she lost the child, and that was very unfortunate. But that was our first encounter with me showing how loving and supportive I am. I was there throughout the whole time, and she was a trooper. Okay, I drove her to get checked out because she was experiencing some things she's never experienced before. She had 5, like a champ, natural birth, and home births at that. So they are special. They are special people. She's a warrior. And she's never had any difficulties with pregnancy whatsoever. So during this time, I was supportive. I was there to hold her hand through the process. And that was the beginning of, I guess, a real bond, if you will, outside of the conversations that we were having on a daily basis. So I remember I think it was after the miscarriage, we went to the park. We took the kids. All of us went to the park, and we were just trying to take our minds off of what happened. And we saw another couple at the park, which I thought was another poly couple, right? Or polygamous couple. It was a man and 2 women, and there was an obvious younger wife, and she was with child, and then they had a child, and then he had an older woman, and they were just together. And I thought, oh, this is a sign. Yeah. And I pointed that out to Mystery and Queen, and we all had a laugh about it. And I forgot what we were saying, but I was very optimistic at that point. Still trying to figure it out because it was all new, but I believe in signs and symbols, and that's how I interpreted that encounter. Where do I go from here?
Question: how do you feel about the way you think in a situation like that, as it pertains to you seeing other men in this situation versus just focusing on the one man? In
So here's the thing. Me finding out that I was going to be a wife to the queen, to the wife of the union, was one thing. But I kind of felt like I was the one that was being limited in this situation. Mystery could have multiple wives. The queen could have a wife and a husband. But I was the only one that could not have an additional partner. And that was the one thing that I had the most difficult time trying to process. And here, I had so many male friends already that they knew of. And Mystery was getting tired of hearing how I just talked to that friend, or this friend was coming to town, or I was going out with that friend. He did not want to hear that because he wanted to be the only man in my life. But let me tell you, that's hard for me to do at this time, especially when I'm looking at two people in the union that I'm supposed to be a part of. What is the saying? You eat something and have your cake too. What's that saying?
have your cake.
Oh, have your cake and eat it too. I'm the only one that doesn't have dessert. Like, I'm the dessert for them, but I don't get dessert. You know what I'm saying? They thought that they were going to be enough for me, and they don't understand that's the going theme in my life. Are you enough for me to be taken off the market? And that's the only thing that I was trying to figure out through that whole process. Are you enough? Will I be fulfilled? Will I still have the desire to turn my head every time I see something chocolate? Anyway, so that became a sore subject, and it caused a lot of conflict. Major conflict.